Hello, students. So this is part 2 of factoring quadratic trinomials that have the a value of 1. In that last video, we kind of talked about again what it means for quadratic trinomial to have a equals 1. We talked about how to identify the a, the b, and the c value when a quadratic trinomial is in standard form. We also talked about just factoring numbers in general, and we did one example of factoring a quadratic trinomial. So we're just going to continue where we left off. So we're going to look at an example. So let's look here. Here we got x squared minus 24x plus 44. So again, you should remember from the previous video how to identify the a, b, and c. So again, the a value here is 1. That's the leading coefficient in front of the term with the highest exponent. And then we've got b. That is your coefficient of the linear term, negative 24. And we've got c, the constant term here. All right, so we've identified a, b, and c. And again, on that last video, what we said was that whenever you're trying to factor a quadratic trinomial where the a value is equal to 1, you find two factors of c that will add to b. Okay, so we're going to find two factors of 44 that will add to negative 24. So two numbers that multiply to give you 44 that also add to give you negative 24. So again, if you can't think of factors of 44 off the top of your head, again, I'm sure you know how to find out whether or not a number is divisible or can be divided evenly by another number, right? So 44 can be divided by 1 evenly, right? You get that. It can be divided by 2 evenly, and you get 22, right? Not going to get any decimals as factors, right? It can be divided by 4 evenly. And that there is about it, except for the fact that we've got negative factors as well. Why do we need to consider the negative factors? Well, first off, if these factors or if these pairs of factors have to add to give me negative 24, we got a problem here, because 1 plus 44, that's 45, positive 45. 2 plus 22 is positive 24. And 4 plus 11 is positive 15. We got a problem. So we can't use these positive factors of 44. We need to use the negative factors. So negative 1 times negative 44, negative 2 times negative 22, and negative 4 times negative 11. Okay, so when we use these negative factors, some of you are looking like, okay, I see something that can add to negative 24 right there. I'm sure y'all aren't saying it like that, but still. Yeah. All right, so negative 2 and negative 22, right? Those are the two factors of positive 44 that will add to give you negative 24. These two numbers, those two factors. And so again, when you do your delta math assignment that sort of looks like this, again, you'll have to fill in these two boxes. Does it matter which order you put those two numbers in? Whether you put the negative 2 on the left or the negative 2 on the right? No, it does not matter. Once you've got those two factors, we write out our factors of this trinomial that we had. That quadratic trinomial is equal to these two factors. Okay, now you can put the You can put it in this order, or you can put it in this order. It does not matter. Again, folks, the order of the multiplication does not matter. The same way that 5 times 6 still gives you 30, whether you put the 5 first or the 6 first. 6 times 5, 5 times 6, both of them, when you switch the order, still give you the same number, 30. Just a quick little note. So if C, again, C is that constant term, if C is positive and B, that coefficient in front of the linear term, so if C is positive and B is negative, then when you do find those two factors of C, they're both going to have to be negative. Okay, both factors of C are going to have to be negative. And again, we saw that when we looked at the positive factors of C. Okay, there were no positive factors of C that were going to add to give you a negative number. Okay, so that's just kind of common sense. But again, it's just a little note that I wanted to make. So let's look at this third example here, example 3, and let's say that we're factoring x squared minus 18x minus 144. So again, when we identify your a, b, and c in this quadratic trinomial standard form, again, remember that a equals 1 in this particular case. B is negative 18, and C is negative 144. Okay, so here's the question. Which number are we going to be finding factors of? Negative 144. We're finding factors of negative 144, and those two numbers have to add together to give you negative 18. They got to multiply to give you negative 144, but they got to add together to give you negative 18. So again, let's look at some factors of negative 144. There's quite a few of them. All right, so we got 1 times 144. Got 2 times negative 72. We got 3 times 48. We've got 4 times negative 36. We've got 6 times negative 24. We've got 8 times negative 18. We've got 9 times negative 16. And we have 12 times negative 12 times negative 12. Ooh, I'm tripping. Shows how tired I am, but that's okay. So remember, these are not the only options, because again, when you're taking factors of a negative number, one of the numbers has to be negative, but again, you can flip-flop the signs. Okay, and so here we can flip-flop these signs. We didn't say which of these numbers has to be negative, so we got more options here. So one of these pairs, for the factors of negative 144, one of these pairs is going to add to negative 18, right? So okay, yeah, the difference between these, yeah, that's going to be negative 143. That's negative 70. The difference there is negative 45. The difference here is negative 32. Difference here is negative 18. Okay, so we got it, right? We don't even have to even look over here at because all of these differences here would wind up being positive. Yeah, it'll be positive 143. Positive, 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 positive. Yeah. All of these over here would be positive. All of these over here would be negative, except for this very last one, of course. So yeah, we found which one it is. So our two factors of negative 144 are 6 and negative 24. Again, folks, it does not matter which order you put these two numbers in. And then when we get ready to write out our two factors of our trinomial, quadratic trinomial, this is equal to x minus 24 and x plus 6. Again, folks, if you want to be certain and for sure that these two factors that we wrote out, these two binomials that are multiplied by each other, times each other, if you want to be sure that they are equal to this trinomial here, then again, feel free, please check your work, make sure. Again, we've gone over multiplying two binomials. Either you can use the FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last. You can use extended distribution, or you can use the box method to check to make sure that this is indeed equal to that trinomial. Okay. Just one last little thing. Just a quick little note. So if C is negative, and we know here that the constant term, our C, was negative here, then the larger factor of C must have the same sign as B. So again, the sign of B was negative here. So when we look at our options here, the larger factor of C, like here, was 144, 72, 48, right? All of these options on the right, the larger factors here, and we're looking at these numbers on the right side here, the larger factors were all positive here. So none of these would have actually worked out. And when we did this, we kind of looked at this like, okay, yeah, this would wind up adding together to give you a positive number. Positive number, positive number, positive number, positive number. They would all add to give you positive numbers. But again, it would need to add to give you negative 18. So the only way that this could work when C is negative is that the larger factor of C has to have the same sign as B. So again, only these options over here on this part here would work, where the larger factors were negative. They had a matching sign. They matched the same sign as negative 18. Okay, because that's the only way that when you add the pairs together, those two numbers, when you add them together, that is going to be a negative number. Okay. So again, they've got to match the larger factor of C has to match the sign for B. I hope that these videos, part 1 and part 2, have been helpful. That's it.